Hi! Happy Hallows Eve. You're here for the cozy sales? Well, hello. We're gonna get cozy because you know what? I forgot that I wanted to get to this before Halloween, because, or like at least today, because it's called Once Upon an All Hallows Eve, and that's what today is. This game looks really cute, and I really want to play it. So we're just gonna play it, hang out for a little bit before I'm too scared for words. So we're gonna see how it goes. But yes, FNAF will be later, I promise. But I wanted to play this because I forgot that I wanted to get to this time around. And I don't want to wait a whole nother year before playing it. So, and then this is also free to play on Steam. If you like what you see and want to play it for yourself, it is free on Steam and it's called Once Upon an All Hallows Eve. Which again, oh, I'm so bad. I was just on the page. Let me copy the link. I keep trying to make it so that I link it up here. Once Upon an All Hallows Eve on Steam. So there's that. I will keep it pinned up here in chat. Yes, it is lies. Yeah, so yeah, that's what we're gonna play right now. Get cozy. And then yeah. Going out for Halloween might be a good idea or the worst. We'll see. Are you telling me that you managed to convince this girl to go with us? My best friend's head nods up and down, looking enthusiastically at our other friend. I know. I couldn't believe it either. Just imagine her hiking up a mountain. That's me. Just imagine all the facials and peels she's going to need afterwards to mend that skin. I roll my eyes at my friend's teasing. Malin smiles, facing me. Are you sure you really wouldn't mind the sunburns? I sigh, shrugging. The truth is, I really don't want to go hiking to a creepy old mountain. No, I don't. I don't either. I don't know. It sounds like we're going to get separated. It's quite scary. And not to mention, there must be a whole bunch of bugs in that place. Malin puts a hand on my shoulder, probably recognizing my worried face. Hey, Lee, you're gonna love it, all right? I just smile back at her. To be honest, I'm not quite sure. No, I would not like it either. My name is Kate. I can't believe that I'm already a graduating college student. And for one final out-of-town trip with my friends before we graduate, we've decided to do something different. How different? We'll see. Alright, let me know how the sound is. Oh, see, I don't want to click off it too much because of that, so let me know. The hard, wet ground of the forest feels cold to my cheeks. Hard, wet ground? I immediately stand up in shock. Oh my god. Perfect. Thank you. I immediately stand up in shock, surprised at my current location. This turns out to be a very bad idea, though, as I feel a jolt of pain course through my whole body. My right leg and arm in particular feel like they're burning. Ah! I crumple back down to the ground in a heap, sobbing. Looking around me, seeing the dense and dark forest, it feels almost surreal to be here. What am I doing here? Well, I rack my brain for any hint or answer, finally remembering my purpose for being here. My friends and I are on a hike to a popular mountain rest house. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but I don't see my friends anywhere. Where could they possibly be? I dig out my phone in my pocket carefully, my arm still screaming to me in agony as I make the slightest of movements. I realize in horror that the cracked screen was an effect of what brought me here to this dilemma. A landslide. There was a landslide, and we barely managed to avoid it. It sounds like we didn't avoid it. Help me! Help! That's gonna be me later. I glance at my cracked phone again, now feeling more desperate than ever. Darn, how am I supposed to make a call now? I decide to stay where I am, not minding the dirt on my beautiful dress. It hurts too much to move. Your warm-up? Yeah. A flash of lightning shocks me for a moment, and I immediately decide to run, to the best of my abilities, to the nearest shelter. It feels more like my whole body is on fire, despite the cold mountain air. Yeah, we were hiking in a dress? I don't know. But I'm in the middle of a forest with an injured body and no means of communication. Where could I even find a shelter here? I zigzag through the densely populated forest, trying to look for any path of sorts to follow. After a few minutes of searching, however, it becomes very evident to me that there's no hope to find a path here. Sobbing once more, I sit back down on the dirty ground, squeezing my arm tightly to stop the pain. No, Gately. You can't stay here. No, you're gonna die in this cold. You have to go. Bracing myself for the pain, I force myself to stand up. I wince, feeling another painful jolt run up through my arm. Picking one direction, I decide to move forward and hope for the best. Lightning continues striking the sky. I wrap my good arm around my body, hoping that my own body heat would be enough to keep me from shivering too much. Rain has started to pour, and I'm feeling terribly cold. Right now, all I want to do is curl up and cry somewhere. I really need to find some shelter, though. After walking hopelessly for about an hour, I notice a decrepit-looking mansion up ahead. It looks really ancient. I think it may even be haunted. Should I take a risk? Oh, we're going. Risk it. I've got no choice. I have to seek shelter tonight, or I'm going to die from the cold. I limp towards the mansion, trying my hardest to calm my nerves. It's a pretty hard thing to do, especially when half of your body is screaming in agony. Do it. Don't worry, Kate. You can make it. Despite looking very ancient, I'm starting to believe that there are actually people who live in this place. I don't know, it doesn't look very ancient to me. The grass seems well trimmed. That must mean something, right? I crane my neck to peek inside a vast yard. Oh. What the hell is that? To my surprise, something blue-looking suddenly darts from somewhere nearby. What was that? What was that? What is it? My voice may be drowned out by the rain, but it's enough for me to hear the fear in my own voice. I turn around, looking for the place where I saw the blue thing, and for my peripheral vision, I see it again. A flame. Oh, it's just Calcifer. A bluish-looking flame. What? My voice shakes with fear, and once again I realize that I am all alone in a dark and creepy forest. It's Calc, you dolt. Yeah, it's just Calcifer. I fear blah blah. Why can't I say I feel tears well up in my eyes as I start running towards the mansion, panicking now. I want to scream for the door to be opened, but I'm too scared of anyone else hearing me. Running my fingers through my hair, I try to steady my breathing before knocking 3 times on the old wooden doors. Hello? With a creaking sound, the door slowly opens to reveal half a face, looking at me. A shocked face, to be exact. Calcifer, my heart. Yeah, it's just Calcifer. Before I could say anything, the face disappears inside, and I hear the person running away. What the hell? I stand, completely clueless to what I should do next. To my surprise, the door opens again with the same creaking sound. Of course it's a creaking sound. A tall young man stands between me and the door, looking at me very suspiciously. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. I put on my best smile and open my mouth to speak, just to have the door slammed in front of my face. The nerve! How dare you! Audacity! They are better gated go. Huh. If you don't want me, then there's a lot of them. Strange flashes of blue dart across around in my peripheral vision again, and I find myself desperately knocking on the doors. What do you want? Please let me in. I'm not doing that. Please, you have to let me in. Please. The young man opens the door and looks suspiciously down at me. Staring at him, I could tell that he has no plans of letting me in whatsoever. My heart sinks like lead when the complete severity of my situation starts dawning on me. What did I do to deserve this? I don't know. You went hiking in a dress. I don't know. I see the young man open his mouth, but before he can say anything, everything turns black all around me. I wake up to the feeling of a warm, fluffy blanket, so unlike the cold, damp feeling I had just experienced in my dream. Feeling the soft cotton of my bed underneath me, I sigh. Oh, thank goodness it was just a dream. The scary forest, the rain, the blue flames I saw. For a moment there, I thought it was real. Victor? Vaughn? I think she's awake. Uh-oh. It wasn't a dream, was it? The sudden voice snaps me out of my daydreaming, and I open my eyes to search for its source. The dark eyes of a dark-haired boy sitting next to my bed meets my gaze. With a start, I realize that I'm laying down on an unfamiliar bed, in an unfamiliar room, and with an unfamiliar boy sitting next to me. Who are you? Who even are you?
Excuse me. Who even are you?
What are you? Where am I? What did you do to me? The boy looks visibly panicked now, and I immediately stands up from his chair. Victor! Vaughn! Who are you calling? I stretch my right arm towards the boy to point at him, only to realize that it's wrapped in a bandage from my shoulder to my elbow. I stop moving and realize that a slight hint of pain is emanating from my shoulder area. What? I look at the boy once more and recognize his face from earlier. You're that boy from earlier. He just stares at me, not saying anything. Tell me, what am I doing on this bed? I try to sit up, only to feel a jolt run through my leg. Ow! Don't move. Gently, as if to calm me down, he holds his hand out, palm forward. You're hurt. Having calmed down now, I suddenly realize that I'm most probably inside the boy's house. Did I faint? He nods, confirming my worry. Oh, this is definitely us. I faint. All the time. Not all the time, but it's been known to happen. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry for the trouble. Again, the boy just stares at me, quite expressionless. What's your name? Before he could reply, though, another voice comes from outside the room. Vern! Oh. The door opens, and in comes two other young men, immediately heading towards the bed. For a moment, all my worst fears seem to have materialized in my head. One of the men, the blonde one, looks down on me, regarding me with a suspicious look in his eyes. I recognize him as the guy who wouldn't let me in earlier. I smile, preparing to open my mouth so I could thank him for letting me in. However, it seems to make him agitated. Just leave. Go away. Jeez. What the hell? What? I told you, go away. Just as he was about to pull me from the bed, the other dark-haired man moves closer to him. Yvonne, you know better than to do that. Yeah. Huh. He turns to me, his face a mixture of confusion and curiosity. Who are you? I open my mouth to answer, but the other guy, Vaughn is his name, I think, moves in between us again. Victor, you can't be serious. There's no need to learn this girl's name. Wow. Vaughn turns to me with daggers shooting out of his eyes. Out. Now. Jeez, a what? You heard me. Get out. Wait, you don't understand. Look, I'm really sorry for making such a ruckus earlier. I glance at the boy on the other side of the room. There's a storm out there, and I really need to... I don't care. Just get out. He takes a hold of my good arm, tugging it slightly upwards. What? No, please. You wouldn't want to make a girl wet, would you? Oh. Oh my. Maybe he would. Space. Yeah. Oh my goodness. This awkward silence. Out! I pout sadly, putting on my cutest face. Oh, look at me though. There's always works whenever I'm asking for favors. I bet he would like to, but if he can't succeed, that's another question. Ayo. Seals. That's sealed. That's fucking great. Oh, shit. It has a 100% success rate. Tried and tested. Vaughn stares at me for a moment before frowning. Out! Now. My mouth falls open as I realize that my foolproof tactic has just failed. I break free from his grasp and cross my good arm over my chest, holding on to my bandaged arm. What? You aren't such a gentleman, are you? The other man chuckles softly. Vaughn is not a gentleman at all, lady. I turn back to Vaughn, who is currently staring at me with eyes of steel. Why aren't you leaving yet? What? I can't believe the rudeness of this guy. Seals. Only speaking the truth. Come now, let's listen to her story. But Victor... The young man named Victor only shakes his head. She's hurt, can't you see? You can't just pull her out of bed. He points at me. You! What are you doing here? Me? Yes, you. You don't think I would ask my brother that question, would you? I look back and forth toward them, realizing the resemblance. Ah. Just answer his question. Oh. Hello, I'm Kate Lee. I was on a hike, I think, and then I fell, and now I'm here, with nowhere else to go. If it's okay with you, I'd like to stay here for the night. It really doesn't seem like the storm will let up anytime soon. The two young men look at each other, as if they're thinking of what to do next. I bite my lip in anxiety. I'm already inside, lying on one of their beds. I'm not sure why they're still torn on whether or not they should let me stay. But if they won't let me stay, I'll be forced to stay the night outside. And if I go outside, I'm scared. You're scared? Of what? I mean, it's storming outside in the forest, and I'm a girl. Bad things happen to girls out alone in the woods. Have you not seen the Blair Witch Project? Are you scared of the rain? No. In my mind's eye, I suddenly see a flash of blue appear. A shiver runs down my spine as I remember my earlier encounter in the forest. I'm scared of those blue things. Blue? The two men suddenly glance at each other with a frown on their faces. What do you mean, blue? I saw some blue things out there. I'm scared. Victor closes his eyes for a moment, breathing deeply. Vaughn, on the other hand, keeps his arms crossed in front of him, looking extremely annoyed. I decide to ignore him for now, making a mental note to get back at him later. Okay. Why did she go out alone in the world to start with? I think, I don't know, apparently there was a landslide or something while she was hiking with her friends. I'm not sure. The older man opens his eyes, narrowing them a bit at me. He's supposed to be older? They look all the same. He looks a little bit younger. Fine. Vaughn's eyes widen in surprise. You're allowing her to stay here? Vaughn, stop being such a meanie. Victor, don't tell me this girl doesn't irritate you. I make another mental check to totally get back at this guy as soon as I can. Victor looks at me up and down, smiling. She's soaking wet. Let her stay for the night. After all, she's already in bed. But Victor... Suddenly, the younger boy from across the room runs behind Victor and looks at him with panic in his eyes. Victor smiles and pats him on the head. Vern, it's okay. The boy, Vern, whimpers and looks back at me, half pouting. Vaughn shakes his head, looking disgusted at the turn of events. Whatever. With another roll of his eyes, Vaughn stomps out of the room, looking quite pissed. I smile at Victor. Thank you. That's all right. You were just in time, actually. Just in time for what? Dinner. Oh, great. Oh? If you could still spare the energy to walk, I'd love it if you ate dinner with us tonight. Wow, thank you. But I really wouldn't want to intrude on you guys. I mean, you already fixed me up, so... I shrug, pointing at my bandages. No, it's okay. I insist. It's my very own recipe, so I'd appreciate it if you gave it a taste. And besides, I was a medical student. It's my job to take care of the injured. Oh, he has a medical background? That's cool. You sure it's okay? I really don't want to disturb you guys too much. Of course. Turning to Vern, he smiles. Vern, please? Vern helps me get out of bed and assists me to walk out the door. He barely looks at me, though, let alone speak to me. I suppose he's just a really quiet kid. I look around me in wonder and amazement as we make our way through the house. I say house, even though mansion would be the more suitable term. If there was one thing I was right about, it's this mansion's ancientness. Dirty old paintings hanging in the dusty walls, making everything look like a mini palace. We pass through a large vacated room with a beautiful chandelier up above. Come to think of it, I think this place could have been a private office once. The four of us continue walking inside the house, and I realize how hollow and devoid of life the whole place seems. Here are three young men who seem to be at the peak of their lives, living in a decrepit old mansion in the middle of nowhere. Something about this strange setup gives me the chills. I glance at the three as we walk. They don't look any different or even dangerous, though, especially Vern. The boy looks like he couldn't even hurt a fly. Finally, we arrive at the long dining table. To be honest, though, it looks nothing like a dining table to me. The shelves of books lined up against the wall aren't helping either. That table near the windows is creepy. I can almost imagine someone sitting there and watching everyone as they ate. Victor tells Vaughn to take our seats wherever we want, and I end up sitting across Vern and Vaughn. Okay, Victor sits across from us. This is Victor, right? All the V's are confusing me. Victor, Vern, Vaughn, right? Okay. After a bit, he stands up to leave. I try to look questioningly at the two other young men, but Vern won't meet my gaze, and Vaughn is looking at me too sternly. Sighing, I just close my eyes. Victor returns after a few minutes with a tray of food. He starts serving us quickly, much to my surprise. Oh, thank you. He smiles as he hands me a napkin. Can you eat without help, or do you need one of us to assist you? I feel an embarrassed blush creeping up on my face. Oh, no, I'm fine. I can eat with my left arm, don't worry. All right, if you say so. After he had finished setting the table, we all take a sip of the soup. Wow, you made this? It tastes wonderful. You think so? Oh, shucks. It's not bad. Not bad. I roll my eyes at the other guys' comments. It tastes really awesome. Turning to Victor, I smile. It's a good thing it's you who's cooking and not anybody else. Wow. I feel daggers go straight through my soul as Vaughn's steely gaze meets mine. I don't know if anyone would be able to not learn how to cook when they're always assigned to kitchen duty. Well, there are some people like that. And I'm not some people. He loves cooking. That's it. Hey, you love my cooking, don't you, Vern? It's not bad. Wow. Victor chuckles softly. The lull in the conversation gives me the opportunity to ask them about something that's been bugging me for a while now. I was just wondering, what are you three doing here? Vaughn suspiciously looks at me. What do you care? I flinch, forcing a smile to my face. Hey, it's the middle of nowhere. Of course we're somewhere. What did you think? But you're up in the mountains, so why... Ugh! That scared me. Ugh. My voice falters, and we all turn to the direction of Vern, who looks up at us with no expression on his face. Sorry. Without another word, he picks up the broken pieces of chinaware from the floor. Victor wipes his mouth with a napkin and sighs. Boys. He stops and sighs again. Vaughn gives me a death glare, and I feel myself shiver. Shaking my head as if to dispel all the scary vibe coming from the blonde guy, I try to change the topic of the conversation. Victor stops eating halfway, and his spoon's still in the air. Yes? I just wanted to thank you guys for taking care of me when I fainted. And for the bandages, of course. The first and the last brother both look at each other, while the middle one looks like he couldn't care less. After a pause, Vern just smiles softly at me. We're just glad to help someone out. Vaughn rolls his eyes. Oh, we can definitely help someone out. Victor shoots his brother a disapproving look. As I glance at Vaughn, I sigh to myself. I am so obviously unwelcome here. Me? My beauty? Unwelcome? Well, she's really modest, isn't she? The nerve of these guys. Ugh. Remind me to leave first thing in the morning. Hey, Hey, you. Huh? You leave first thing in the morning, okay? What? Hey! I have a name, you know. Victor chuckles, clearing his throat. He looks almost relieved somehow. Oh, that's right. It seems we forgot to properly introduce ourselves. I'm Victor. He looks at the other two expectantly, but I know that one of them is way too angry at me, while the other simply doesn't care enough to introduce himself to me. Victor's eyebrows furrow, but he just sighs and proceeds to introduce them himself. And these are my brothers, Grumpy Vaughn and Scaredy Cat Vern. I'm not grumpy, Vaughn protests, glaring at me. And I'm not a scaredy cat. Vern just blushes. Well, what do you know? Victor's eyes shines brightly as he smiles at me. And you? Kate Lee. Kate Lee? Yeah, I'm a half. A half? What does that mean? Oh, a half. What, half annoying and half irritating? Or perhaps half an outsider and half an unwanted guest? I feel my eyes widen at his words. Without wanting to, I feel my eyes starting to well up with tears. His eyes darken all of a sudden as he looks me down. Or perhaps half living and half... Victor bangs his hand on the table, causing all three of us to look at him. That's not the right way to treat a lady, Vaughn. To my surprise, Victor suddenly interrupts his brother, giving him a death glare. I don't care. Why wouldn't we just let her soul get lost for eternity? Oh, what? His voice then shivers down my spine. Both Victor and Vern stare at their brother in horror. Wait, what did you just say? While I don't exactly understand the full extent of what he said, I could definitely feel that it wasn't anything good. Wait, did we die in the landslide or something? The three brothers all look at me surprised. What? Vaughn, what did you say? Lost for eternity? Vaughn's eyes are still set harshly, but I see a scent of nervousness in his gaze. The youngest brother holds his utensils tightly. Oh well, time for bed. Oh, okay, we're just gonna not talk about that, okay. No, wait! Vaughn, why did you say that? Is there something about this place that I don't know about? Kate, it's nothing important. But... Push it. Push it real good. I shake my head slowly, forcing a smile on my face. No, I heard Vaughn say something, and it sounded like I was dead or something. It's okay, Vaughn. You can tell me. The said guy looks at me with an incomprehensible gaze. To my surprise, he just laughs. A little too forcibly, if you ask me. Are you really that dense not to figure out a simple joke? Oh, a joke? In my mind, I know he's not saying the truth. That didn't sound like a joke, Vaughn. What is this place? Really? Really? The three brothers look at each other again. I curse myself under my breath for not understanding their silent conversations. Thank you for the lurk, Tanky. Love you. Vern glances at me worriedly, and I turn to Vaughn, certain that he's hiding something. Surprisingly, all I see in his eyes is rage. We took you in, so don't you dare question us about our home. What? Else you want to be kicked out again out there in the rain. Okay. Take your pick. I clench my fist, trying to repress my anger. We just leave. We're just like, alright, bye. Oh, shit. I mean, it's like rainy and shit. I guess we have to stay. Victor told me I could stay here. I'm staying here, whether you like it or not. I glance at Victor, whose eyebrows has risen up, making him look surprised at my words. Vern seems to have noticed our bickering as well, and he looks at us with a worried look on his face. On the other hand, Vaughn's eyes are now spewing fire at me. Really now? Yes, and I'm not leaving unless your brothers want me to. He growls at me slightly, narrowing his eyes. Turning away from me, he looks at his brothers threateningly. Vern glances at him, but goes back to eating his meal. As expected, Victor just shrugs, trying his best to look innocent. Don't tell me. None of you are willing to kick her out? His question is greeted with silence. What? Victor, you're really going to go through with this? She's injured, Vaughn. You know I can't turn away people who need my help. I feel a burst of hope surge through me. Vaughn just scoffs at him, looking disappointed, much to my disgust. How could a person send away an injured person, I wonder? Vern, even you? He looks at his youngest brother in surprise. You don't want to kick this outsider out? I find myself doing a little victory dance in my head as Vern shakes his head slowly. I thought you didn't like outsiders. The younger brother remains silent, sipping his soup quietly. Fine. He crosses his arms and reclines back on his chair. So, have we finally settled this? I smile while Vaughn just rolls his eyes. Yes, we're fine. Yep, you're definitely fine. Let's go. Vaughn just scoffs again and throws his napkin on the table, getting ready to stand up. You didn't say the magic word. Victor makes the surprised middle brother get back to his seat with a wag of the former's index finger. What? The oldest brother sighs and glances at the youngest of the family. Nobody can leave the table unless everybody leaves. Except for some special cases. Victor smiles, and I realize that he's actually pretty cute. What the hell am I thinking? The oldest brother clears his throat, thankfully snapping me from my thoughts. Heard that, Vaughn? You're already 22, yet a 19-year-old can follow the rules better than you do. Vaughn glares at him. And you're only 23, Victor. Stop acting like you're so old. I'm your older brother, so of course I'm still older than you. Now, get back down to your seat. Vaughn rolls his eyes, but nevertheless does what he's told. I do another little happy dance in my mind. A pretty evil happy dance. What are we waiting for anyway? Victor smiles at me. Room assignments. Vaughn's mouth falls open, and Vern merely looks at his eldest brother wide-eyed. A room? Yes. Victor, we have more than a dozen rooms in this place. Can't we just push her somewhere where she can stay out of our way? I think it's a good idea to let her stay somewhere here, Vaughn. He answers slowly, as if speaking to a young child who still lacked understanding. But she already slept in Vern's room, so I suppose it would be best if we let her stay there. And that's why Vern is going to stay in your room, Vaughn. In my... what? Victor smiles devilishly at his brother. And where do you want me to stay? In the guest room. The middle brother brings his hand down on the table. You mean the unkempt, unclean room? Victor nods happily. Too happily, if you ask me. Exactly. I'm sure you'll do a good job cleaning up. What? Victor dabs his lips with a napkin before smiling at his brother again. By the way, Vern has already assisted Kate tonight. Since she's still injured, we should take turns helping her around. It's your turn now, Vaughn. Oh no. The blonde young man looks at his older brother in shock, as if he was unable to believe what was just said to him. Normally, I wouldn't want to be helped by such a grumpy guy either, but I suppose I'm in a sadistic mood tonight. Hey, wait! I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Have a nice sleep. He signals for us to stand up, and he and Vern start walking towards one chamber of the place. The four of us stop at a staircase as Victor leaves Vaughn to accompany me to my room. Vaughn turns to me once the two other brothers have gone out of earshot. Don't make any trouble or you're dead. I turn to make a comeback at him, but he looks surprised all of a sudden. Vaughn? What's wrong? He blinks his eyes for a few more minutes, and finally he looks at me, still with a hint of distraction in his eyes. Just go to sleep. Yeah. He narrows his eyes at me, sighing a bit. Don't be noisy. Okay. He turns away, going straight towards the rooms next to mine. After thinking for a few seconds, I decide to call out to him. Hey, Vaughn? He stops but doesn't look back at me. I'm really sorry for earlier. My actions were uncalled for. He doesn't respond to me, so I continue speaking. I still do hope we can be friends, though. For a few seconds, neither of us speak. Finally, he turns around to face me. Go to sleep. Just those 3 words, and he's back in the room next door again. I smile a bit to myself. It's still irritating how much he's ignoring my beauty, but I guess it's pretty interesting too. After all, I'm getting really tired of guys who are willing to throw themselves at my feet. But, well, she's upset about that, but she's also not upset about that. Okay. Tell me you're high maintenance without telling me you're high maintenance. I shrugged to myself, still with a smile to myself. Taking one last look at the next room's door, I enter Vern's room. One of the most accurately written women. The first thing I noticed about his room is the lack of visible windows. Or probably they're just being obscured by the thick blinds in one wall of his room. Deciding to lay on the bed instead, I slowly climb onto it, careful not to hurt the right side of my body. Victor has done a really good job of patching me up. I don't feel the pain that much at all, to be honest. Vern's king-size bed is more than enough for me. I snuggle into the soft sheets, enjoying the comfort of his bed. I notice a distinct smell and I move closer to sniff it better. Smells really good. Men's perfume? I smile to myself as I lie by myself, staring up at the ceiling. I guess I'm going to enjoy my stay here. Not that I'll be staying here for long, of course. I wake up bright and early the next day. For a few minutes, I stay on the bed thinking about today. Raising my arms up over my head, I pull on my hiking clothes. That aren't really hiking clothes. I just realized that I was so tired last night that I forgot to remove it. A sudden jolt of pain from my right arm instantly brings back memories of last night. The landslide, the storm, the blue flames. I shake my head, shooing the ugly thoughts away from my mind. I don't want to let such thoughts ruin my day. It's only like what's happening. It's fine. Going back to my hiking clothes, I carefully remove it, slowly pulling it off my right arm. Finally, I managed to get it off me. Thank goodness I have something to wear inside. A flimsy-looking sundress. I might as well. After a while, I entered the bathroom and washed my face and mouth. It's actually pretty hard to do without a proper mirror in this place. While washing my face on the sink, I hear somebody knocking on my door. Coming! Slowly, I walk towards the door, careful not to exert too much pressure on my right leg. I'm coming! I open the door to see a grumbling Vaughn standing outside. Forcing a smile to my face, I greet him. Good morning, Vaughn. He looks surprised for a moment, probably seeing my sundress. Nevertheless, he ignores my greeting, choosing to grumble instead. Victor wanted me to call you for breakfast. Saying that, he turns around to leave, but I call out to him. Vaughn! Just like last night, he stops, but doesn't turn around. I hurriedly limp over to him with a frown on my face. Why are you so hostile? His eyes flash anger at me. Why are you here? What? What were you doing in that forest? How did you find our home? I am taken aback by his words. What's... He turns his face away from me. Hi, Frank! How you doing? Happy Hallows Eve. You shouldn't be here. Excuse me? Suddenly, it comes to me that I don't hear anger in his voice anymore. Vaughn? Let's just go. He starts walking again, and I try to match my steps to his. Did you finish your movie, Frank? I fell asleep. I want to watch the movie. When is the movie premiere? Yeah, Frank was playing GTA RP the other day, and it was so fucking funny. I can't tab out of this right now, but go follow Frank if you want to have a hilarious time. You did? Oh my god. I'm gonna have to watch it. Movie premiere in the city will be Friday. Okay, I'm definitely gonna be there. I have to watch it. I have to watch it. That was so funny, dude. I was cracking the fuck up. He starts walking again. I try to match my steps to his. However, my injured leg shoots sharp pain with my every step down the stairs, causing me to continuously stop. Unable to go on any longer, I grasp the staircase, panting. This is too freaking hard. Vaughn reaches the bottom of the stairs and looks up at me impatiently. His eyes widen when he sees me holding on to the banister. What are you doing? Oh, I'm only injured. It's fine. Jeez. I give him a sheepish smile, feeling quite embarrassed. Sorry, I'm only injured. Can't you walk faster? God, I want to punch this guy in the face. Actually, right now, I can barely walk, clearly. He narrows his eyes slightly, looking confused. A second later, I see a flicker of recognition in his eyes, as he probably realizes what I'm doing in his house in the first place. Sighing, he walks up to me. So, you still can't walk, huh? No. What gave you that impression? Huh? To my surprise, he moves really close to me, and much to my embarrassment, I feel my face go hot red. Before I could say anything else, Vaughn has already lifted me up in his arms, holding me bridal style as he walked down the stairs. Vaughn! He looks down at me with his intense gaze, and I could feel my heart start pounding away inside my chest. We go down the stairs slowly, carefully, with Vaughn holding me like I am a piece of expensive and fragile porcelain.
It's very expensive.
I can't believe how a guy with such a brutish personality could be so gentle. Upon reaching the bottom of the stairs, I smile at him awkwardly. Thank you. You can put me down now. Vaughn just stares at me blankly. Vaughn? And endure your painfully slow walk again? No way. I gulp, feeling my face growing hot. It's okay. I can manage this. I thought you said you couldn't walk. I can walk. It's just that I can't walk that well yet. It's getting spicy? Let's go. He just stares at me with a blank expression on his face. Same difference. But I'm too... You're light enough, if that's what you're worried about. Vaughn looks at me, staring deep into my eyes, straight to my soul. I try to avert my eyes away, avoiding his gaze. However, our close proximity allows me to smell his perfume and feel his seemingly sculpted body against mine. I feel my face grow even hotter with my new thoughts. Come on, Kate. Pull yourself together. Finally, we arrive outside the dining area and Vaughn promptly puts me down. I rumple my dress, fixing it up as Vaughn enters the dining area. I can still feel my heart beating fast after his little act of kindness. Whew, I can sure feel the tension being with somebody I dislike. But hey, maybe he really is a nice guy, somewhere deep inside. You're a nice guy! That's what I think about every time I hear nice guy. Slowly, I limp inside the dining room. However, my mind still drifts back to our earlier conversation. I still don't understand why he acted that way towards me, though. And why exactly is he so keen on making me leave this place? I stare at Vaughn's back as he walks towards the table, as if I could find the answers to my questions there. Good morning, Kate. Victor stands on the edge of the table, setting up the last of the food. I force a smile at him and Vern, who is currently eyeing the food. The latter just smiles at me as Vaughn takes his seat beside him. Like last night, I sit down across the two. Victor clasps his hands together as he takes his seat at the head of the table. Okay, finally we can have breakfast. Vaughn, what's wrong? What? Are you sick? Do you have a fever? What are you talking about? Your face looks pretty red. Are you sure you're all right? I'm just hungry. Where's the food? Victor shakes his head. It's here, Your Highness. Vaughn huffs. His older brother gives him a disapproving look, wagging a finger at him. Yeah, I know, Seal. I don't know. I'm confused as like, because they said something at dinner last night that was weird, like I'm a soul or something, and like, so I'm wondering if that's real. I'm not sure. Let's find out. It's breakfast, Vaughn. Don't be so glum. Whatever. Victor just sighs, ignoring Vaughn. Anyway, how was your night, Kate? I look at him in surprise. Me? Yes. I smile hesitantly. I had a pretty nice night. I think I even had a good dream or two. Victor just nods. Well, that's good. To be honest, I thought you would be scared of this place. I chuckle softly. Victor winks. Don't worry. It's not as bad as you think. I notice Vaughn rolling his eyes. Narrowing my eyes at him, I sigh. Victor seems to have noticed my expression and looks at Vaughn as well. Don't mind him. He's not usually like that, but he's being awfully ill-mannered today. Yeah, I think something like that is going on here. Vaughn looks up at us with angry eyes. Like, I think that maybe something happened to us. Either something happened to us on that hike or it didn't happen at all, and like we're all ghosts so we can all see each other. I'm not sure. Because when I said I could see the blue fire, they were like, you can see that? And they acted all weird. Can't you see that I'm eating peacefully? How can it be peaceful when all you do is mock me? He lets out an obviously fake laugh. Mock you? Yes. And here I was, starting to think that he was a nice guy after all. I guess I was mistaken. Terribly mistaken. I told myself I wouldn't get into a fight with Vaughn, but he's forcing me to do this. What's your problem? He stares at me with a steely resolve. You. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Grumpy Pants, but I'm determined to settle this once and for all. And why me? The 22-year-old forcibly drops his utensils on the table. Drama? What are you doing here? Why are you here? Victor brings his hand down on the table. Vaughn, we've already talked about... Vaughn turns angrily to him. No, we haven't. She shouldn't be here, Victor. Frustrated, I sigh, bringing my hands to my forehead.
Is it me? Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama.
He's a drama. Vaughn, where are your manners? He doesn't have any. Victor's eyes flash angrily at their youngest brother. Don't butt into this conversation, Vern. Vaughn! Now it's the three of them who are angrily fighting each other. I hate to see these young men bickering like little kids, but they're doing it right now. This has gone on for far too long. I bang my hand on the table, getting all their attention. Guys, please, don't fight. What do you... I hold up one finger, and Vern puts a hand on Vaughn's mouth, who angrily pushes it away. Vaughn, you're right. You're most definitely right. He stops, looking at me intensely. I see the curiosity behind the other two's eyes. Taking a deep breath, I start talking. You're right. I shouldn't be here. I should be out there, having fun with my friends. I should be somewhere with them right now. I should be in my friend's mountain rest house. I shouldn't be here at all. I see realization slowly come across Victor's face. However, Vaughn and Vern are still looking at me with confused faces, so I continue my explanation. But not all things that should happen do happen. And sometimes it's the things that shouldn't happen that do. I look at Vaughn, whose eyes are still displaying his confusion. Like that landslide. I hear a gasp from Vern. Vaughn's eyes widen slowly as he lowers his gaze downward. I'm sorry for barging into your home, Vaughn. I'm really, really sorry. But when I woke up last night, all alone and feeling cold, all I wanted was to find a shelter where I could spend the night. I force a smile on my face as I turn to Victor. Thank you so much for letting me in. And thank you for the meal. I stand up and Victor holds up a hand. Wait, Kate, where are you going? I am leaving. No, wait. Without listening to him, I turn around and start walking as fast as I could towards the front door. Your injuries. Nobody said I couldn't walk, dumbass. Actually, we did, but okay. I glare at him one final time before I completely turn around from them. Victor calls after me, but I force myself to ignore his calling. I hear him scolding Vaughn, and I hear Vern saying something as well. But I couldn't hear the middle brother's voice, even as a scurry of footsteps follow me outside. The rain still hasn't let up, but I keep on walking around trying to find a path. Last night I didn't find any, but since it's a bit brighter today, perhaps I'll find one. I cross my fingers behind my back, hoping for the best. Even though my leg is hurting like crazy, I force myself to keep going on. Is this like another situation where, like, she's not gonna be able to leave the mansion, and, like, instead of fog, it's the rain? With every step, it feels like something is being ripped from deep inside me. I need to find shelter, and fast. like the shelter we just left. Either a path or my friend's rest house, please. I feel like I've walked for hours without finding anything yet. Well, if we weren't dead before this, we're gonna catch pneumonia and die now. It's fine. Defeated, I sit down on a tree root, crying my eyes out. Damn, better get it go. I don't know what to do. Did I make a mistake? Was I too hasty in leaving this place? But I don't like feeling unwanted. I bury my head between my knees, tears still streaming down my face. What should I do now? Walk around the forest. We can't go back. Right? I wipe my tears, strengthening my resolve. I'll find my way around, even if it kills me. I glance down on my injured leg. Although, given the circumstances, it probably would if I don't find a path or shelter soon enough. Standing up, I look around me. All I see are trees, trees, and more trees. Nevertheless, I take one very painful step forward. A few more hours seem to pass, and I'm still in the middle of nowhere. I'm starting to get hungry and chilly, especially since the rain still hasn't let up. The bandages are also starting to come off from my arm and my leg due to being wet by the rain. Suddenly, I hear something moving in between the trees. Uh-oh. My heartbeat immediately quickens, scared at what I might see, scared of what might come out, scared that it might be those flashes of blue again, scared of the unknown that is currently moving somewhere close, scared that I wouldn't be able to run away from the potential danger. Uh-oh. I hold my breath, bracing myself for the worst. To my surprise, Victor suddenly emerges from behind one of the trees. Oh, hello. He smiles as he walks toward me, making my eyes widen in surprise. Victor? What are you doing here? I came to find you. You should know better than to go out in the rain with an injured leg, young lady. What if something happened to you out here? What if there was, a bear? How would you run? You wouldn't even be able to walk properly away. I'm pretty sure you don't need to know the proper walk when you're face to face with an angry bear, Victor. He gives me a disapproving look. We were really worried about you, Kate. I scoff a bit. I'm pretty sure that it's just you and Vern who's worried. After a short pause, Victor smiles at me. I'd hate to say it, but you're just pretty. What? Blushing slightly, I frown in confusion. What do you mean? You got the sure part of I'm pretty sure wrong. Oh, he's the saucy one, silver-tongued devil, you. You mean... Uh-huh. That's impossible. Vaughn doesn't care. Victor smiles gently at me, raising his eyebrows in a convincing manner. He does. He just sucks at being a gentleman to girls he meets for the first time. He was really mean, you know. I do. But we should really return to the house soon. Why should I? It's not my house. He puts one hand up as if to shield his head. Because it's still raining and we're both wet. I really don't want anything to happen to either one of us. I don't want to return there. Victor looks at me worriedly. Why not? Don't you find us nice? Well, I find you nice. I do. But Vaughn... He wants to apologize to you, Kate Lee. Let's just go back, okay? Should I go back? Refuse. No. Alright, we'll go back. Okay. We're not really getting anywhere out here anyway. Victor grins happily at me. Good choice. He moves closer to me and holds out his arm. Shall we go? I smile and take it, holding on to him for support. The action reminds me of his brother, Vern. Only now do I realize that he and Victor do have a lot of similarities. Not to mention they're both really kind and gentle, too. I wonder what happened with the middle sibling. As if he had been reading my thoughts, Victor suddenly speaks up. I promise you, Vaughn really wants to apologize. That's the second time they've, seemingly read my thoughts, too. What's going on here? Strangely, the thought of Vaughn wanting to apologize to me sounds amusing. He's not being forced to or anything. Nope, not at all. He winks at me. I'm not convinced. Hey, why not? You just don't sound very convincing. Victor laughs cheerfully at my statement. We begin walking slowly towards the mansion, with me tagging alongside Victor as I hold on to his arm. I'm a very convincing person. I once convinced Vern to believe that there's always someone who follows him wherever he goes. Huh? The only clue I gave was that he can only see that someone in the light, never in the dark. He winks again, obviously suppressing his laughter. I suddenly realize what he's talking about. Wait, do you mean his shadow? He nods, laughing out loud now. That was really mean of you, Victor. Why would you do that? Well, he was scared of the dark and wouldn't go stay in his own room. So I told him that the darkness keeps that someone away, and he learned how to sleep in his own room? In the dark? Yep. He smiles, scratching the back of his head. I did succeed, but there was one negative thing about it. I thought so. I refused to believe that it hadn't backfired. Hey, I did succeed in one aspect. Although Vern got too scared to go outside during the sunny days, so... He shrugs. Don't tell me he stayed indoors all the time. He did. I was 10 and he was 6 when I made that joke, but still, he believed in what I said all throughout his childhood. And when he finally realized that I just dropped some bull on him, it was too late. Too late? How? Well, he was already too shy to go outside. It was like all those years staying inside all the time made him not used to outsiders. That's pretty sad. Victor bites his lip, looking wistful. I know. And it's all my fault. He shrugs. That's why I promised to myself that I'd take care of those two and not do silly stuff like that anymore. At least he turned out to be a better person because of that then. Sometimes we really do have to experience the wrong thing so that we can learn how to do the right thing. He chuckles softly. Words of wisdom, I'm sure. But then again, at the expense of my brother? No thanks. I just smile at his statement. I wish I had brothers. Wait, or why? Don't you have siblings? Nope. He smiles, looking thoughtfully at me. You can have my brothers. You'll be their older sister. Older? Vaughn is 2 years older than me. I'm only 20. That's okay. There's not much of a difference, is there? Whatever. He laughs again before pointing to the infrastructure in front of us. Here we are. We're here already? We've been walking for more than 30 minutes. I didn't even notice. Your foot hasn't noticed it as well? I stopped for a second, feeling my foot. Actually, I think I'm feeling some dull pain now. It's kind of aching. Victor laughs good-naturedly. See? Your foot has noticed while you haven't. I wonder why that's so. Well, that's because you're so talkative. Wow. Wow. Back inside the mansion, Vern gives me a warm cup of coffee and a towel to dry myself. After drying up, Victor immediately gets his medical supplies and refreshes my bandages with fresh new ones. I only got a glimpse, but it seems like I have some dark bruises forming on my leg. And then you go ahead and abuse your leg by walking around the forest in the rain? Oh, Kate. Vern peers into my leg worriedly. Into my leg. What? Is it bad? Victor looks at my leg seriously before shaking his head slightly. No, not really. But you shouldn't exert too much effort, Kate. Be gentle with your arm, too. Your bones are still healing. I nod, unable to say anything else. It really had been my fault. If only I hadn't been so stubborn, maybe I'd recover much faster. I glance up when I hear somebody clearing their throat. Vaughn is standing in front of me, looking quite docile. I'm sorry. Does your leg still hurt? No. Good. He keeps his eyes lowered, not meeting my gaze. I call out his name to make him look at me. Vaughn? Slowly, he glances up. I'm really sorry, too. I shouldn't have been so brash. To my surprise, he just smiles a bit. Well, it was my fault anyway. Do you forgive me? Don't accept his apology. Forgive him. You're forgiven. He suddenly looks up at me with a smile on his face. You're serious? Of course. Victor and Vern do a little cheer behind his back. Thanks. Yay, we're all friends now. Yeah. Play nice, you two. Vaughn scoffs and rolls his eyes at his older brother. Gonna go read in bed. Lovely hanging out. Thanks for hanging out, Seals. I will let you know. I'll probably post it on YouTube. It's really cute so far. I'll let you know, though. Victor, we are not little children. Yes, you are. You're an immature little kid who picks fights with... We all look at Victor with our mouths open. He suddenly grins widely. Just kidding. You've already apologized to Kate Lee here. That's right. So, what do you guys want for dinner later? Vaughn smiles. I walk up the stairs slowly, not wanting anyone to wake up from the awful creaking of the old wooden steps. I just can't believe how noisy these stairs can be at night. A wrong step sends a creak echoing throughout the whole mansion, it seems. As if on cue, I freeze on the spot. Shh! I press my index finger to my lips, angrily looking at the steps. Why do they have to be so noisy? Just as I reach the top step, a chill breeze suddenly blows from behind me, tickling my back and sending shivers down my spine. I hurriedly touch my foreneck with my palm, feeling the icy cold skin. What was that? The breeze was barely noticeable, but it was extremely chilly, like it had come from a very cold place. Suddenly, a more pressing thought enters my mind. Just where did that draft come from? Is there a broken window somewhere? I crane my neck to look around the staircase, peering at the dark living room just beneath me. It doesn't seem like there are any windows left open by the brothers. Wait, what if it was a ghost? The thought of phantoms and ghosts makes my arms covered in goosebumps, and I hurriedly run to my room, closing it behind me. If there's going to be a haunting in this old mansion, then I'd rather sleep through it. I cover myself with a blanket before remembering something else. I turn on the light. Time passed by a little too quickly, but before I knew it, I've already stayed in the mansion for a few days. Wait, what was the thought? Why did we turn on the light? Okay. It's not like I have a choice, though. Hold on, I haven't saved yet. My body is already starting to recover, although Victor wants me to make a full recovery before we make an attempt to go back down the mountain again. If I didn't know any better, I'd have thought that he was some sort of a tourist who didn't know the trails of the mountain. Or perhaps I'd have thought that he was actually scared of hiking down. That's quite a ridiculous thought, though. Victor lives here, so of course he knows the trail. The oldest brother had promised me that once I had fully recovered, he would help me get back to the foot of the mountain so that I could use the phone there to call my friends. However, I still haven't been able to make that full recovery that he wants. I get tired easily, and sometimes just moving a part of my body sends jolts of pain coursing through me. It's really quite depressing. What's more depressing is the fact that it's always raining in this place. We get bouts of sunshine sometimes, only for the rain to come crashing down again. I wonder why it never really stops raining in this place. One miraculously sunny afternoon, I approach the three brothers while they're fixing some furniture in the house. I clear my throat to get their attention. Hi, Scorpio. Victor looks up and smiles at me, wiping some sweat off his forehead. Oh, hey there, Kate. What's up? Oh, nothing much. I was just wondering. I pout a little bit, trying to make it sound innocent. Victor, when are you going to take me to the village? All three of them stop working all of a sudden, and they all turn to look at me. Wait, did I say something wrong? Vaughn narrows his eyes, but not in a mean way, more like a confused kind of way. He turns to his older brother with the same expression. I thought you already talked about this with her. What is happening? Are we a ghost? Are we dead? Can we not leave this happen? Aw, I'm gonna be moving soon too. We'll be moving buddies. Meanwhile, Vern and Victor just blink a few times at each other. I hope it wasn't too hard and you have fun. It's kind of fun unpacking everything in a new place. Thank you for the lurk. Guys? Victor finally stands up and looks at me seriously. I'll take you there when you've already fully recovered. I sigh, already expecting the answer. As a matter of fact, I already knew that he would say that. Nevertheless, I still wanted to hear it coming from him exactly. I twiddle a lock of hair between my fingers. I know I'm still not well enough. I guess I'm just depressed that the rain still hasn't let up, too. And it's been a few days. How come it's always raining around here? I look expectantly at Victor, waiting for some sort of explanation. I really just want some sort to come out of him. Instead, his gaze goes straight through me. He seems distracted somehow. Victor? His eyes slowly focus on me. We are fucking dead, aren't we? That's what I think. What? I was saying... From behind him, I see Vern shaking his head at me. What? Vaughn, on the other hand, is simply looking at us with semi-wide eyes. What did you say? Oh, I was just asking if... Vern shakes his head again as if urging me not to continue. Oh, ask away. Victor smiles stiffly at me, but I have a feeling that his nervousness is being hidden by his cheerful facade. But I just asked you what I wanted to ask. Oh, you did, didn't you? Victor doesn't look like himself. I wonder what's wrong. It's... I mean, I kind of just deserve to know, right? Like, it's about this. He doesn't want me to talk about it, but, like, y'all have to, like, explain it at some point. It's about this place. The eldest brother's eyes narrow at me. This place? Yes. I glance behind him at Vaughn and Vern, and both of them look shocked at what I just said. You mean our house? I wave my hands in front of me, hoping that I wasn't conveying the wrong message to him. Oh no, that's not what I meant. I was talking about this mountain in general. Oh, what about it? Victor looks at me with a blank expression. I choose my words carefully, realizing that I'm probably treading deeper waters than I thought. For one, why is it always raining around here? It's not raining right now. Of course, I know. But it's always raining, you know? Why are you asking me about the rain? Oh, wow, he mad. He angry now. It's not like I know the schedules of nature, Kate. I back away slightly, sensing the defensiveness in his tone. It's nothing like that, Victor. I'm just wondering why it's always raining in this place. Victor looks at me sternly. I don't know. Maybe when I recover, you could take me to the village despite the rain. I mean, perhaps we could use some umbrellas, or... And risk getting lost in the forest? No. I frown at his stubbornness. Victor, you don't have to be so careful all the time, you know? Stop being so insistent. I'm just worried for your health. My health? It's always my health. But I've been here for days. I don't have any idea what happened to my friends. He sighs and holds me by the shoulders, pulling me closer towards him. My breath hitches in my throat as he looks straight into my eyes. If only I held the world in my hands, I could probably answer your questions, Kate. But I don't. I'm trying to help you, not keep you prisoner here. I'm sorry if that's not enough. My eyes flick downwards in shame. I'm sorry, Victor. I can't tell if he's, like, trying to protect us or if, like, he's gaslighting the shit out of us. I'm not sure. He nods slowly, letting go of my shoulders. I keep my eyes on the ground, embarrassed by my actions. Vern just looks at me silently with a worried look on his face. That's a really good gaslight. I mean, yeah, I know. I don't know. Like, is he just trying to protect us because, like, the answer is, like, we're dead or some crazy shit, and he's just, like, trying to put off telling us? Or is he, like, is this, like, a misery situation? I don't know. Victor turns away from me, going back to what he was doing earlier. I'm going back to my room. Without waiting for anyone to acknowledge what I just said, I run towards my bedroom. Lying on my stomach, I cry my eyes out in the bedroom. I know he's doing all he can to help me, yet all I can do is question him for it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. A knock on the door interrupts my pity party, and I hurriedly wipe my tears away. Come in. The door opens and Vern walks in, looking quite glum. I wipe my cheeks again, making sure that there's no evidence of my tears. Facing him again, I force a smile on my face. Hey, Vern. He smiles at me as well, albeit his is tainted with sadness. Here you've got two people who are both pretending to be happy by smiling. Are you okay? Sure, of course I am. He does a little smile again and sits on my bed. We sit like that in silence for a few minutes. I have to apologize for what happened earlier. Oh, I glance downwards, not willing to meet the 19-year-old in the eye. You know, Victor is really like that. Like what? He pouts a bit, then bites his lower lip in thought. Sometimes he cares too much, and when he gets hurt, he can be pretty sensitive about it. I see. Vern shrugs, then smiles with understanding. Being the oldest, he must be under a lot of pressure to keep us in check. I know, and I've been really horrible to him. I don't even know why I said those things. I don't know why we're like making such a big deal about it. We didn't say anything horrible. We're just like asking a question. I don't know. Vern smiles at me as if assuring me that everything's fine. It's okay. Sometimes we do things that surprise even us. It's something all humans do, I guess. I smile back at him, nodding slightly. You're right. He pouts and points at my face. So you better stop crying now, okay? What? Who's crying? I'm not crying. You're still crying at baseball. Are you crying? He laughs softly. Fine, you're not crying right now. I roll my eyes at him in a playful manner. Just don't cry anymore, okay? It's not your problem. Why not? Don't tell me what to do. Don't really like seeing you cry. Why? I don't know. I guess I just don't want you to be sad. And you're way more beautiful when you're smiling. Oh. His words send bass drums playing in my chest. Plus, it doesn't seem like the Kate Lee I know. Huh? It just seems very out of character for someone like you. Someone like me? Does that mean you've already made up your mind about what kind of person I am? Much love, lady. He blushes deeply, looking embarrassed. I didn't mean to say that. It's just that I just know you're a lot stronger than you seem. Way, way stronger. I smile. Surprisingly, hearing those words come from this boy in front of me gives me strength. Hey, not everything is what it seems. He raises his eyebrows. Okay, you have a point there. Vern stands up, chuckling a bit. I'll see you soon, then. Have a good night, Kate Lee. I smile warmly at the young man currently standing in my doorway. Sweet dreams, Vern. He smiles one last time before closing the door. I smile to myself. After thinking about it for quite a few minutes, I finally come upon a decision and decide to go back to Victor to apologize. That's all right. He smiles apologetically to me. I'm also sorry for being so moody earlier. The boys and I have been fixing up some old furniture in this ancient house, and I gotta tell you, it's not an easy job. I smile at him, nodding. It's all right. I understand. Actually, I'm the one who should be saying sorry. I feel really horrible for how I acted earlier. I swear I'm not making it my goal to fight with all of you guys. I do hope you won't pick a fight with me. Vaughn turns to his brother with a teasing look. Yes, because you know you're gonna lose. Hey. We all laugh together, including Vern. To be honest, I have no idea how much time has already passed since I first got here. It seems weird, but I seem to have forgotten the concept of timekeeping itself. Oh. Seems weird. I'm getting used to waking up just after the sun does and sleeping shortly after it goes to sleep. Are we a vampire? Wait. No, she's saying that, wait, she's waking up just at, like, so she's like just after sunrise and just after sunset. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I just want to be a vampire. And I'm becoming even closer to the three brothers. One night, I wake up due to the extreme coldness of my room. I realize that I am already shivering, even despite the blanket that I have unconsciously wrapped around myself in my sleep. Groaning, I stand up, hoping to find the source of the sudden cold. A cool breeze sends goosebumps up my arms, and I realize that perhaps the small window covered by the blinds on the far side of the wall has been accidentally open, just a peek. Slowly, I start walking towards it. A strange sound suddenly reveals itself to my ears. I stop, straining to recognize the sound. To my horror, I realize that it sounds like a tornado is happening outside. A tornado? I hurriedly run to the door to open it, but before I can do so, I hear a voice calling out to me. Kate. A hollow, echoic kind of voice that makes me really rethink if I had really heard it or not. I look around me, feeling goosebumps traveling on my flesh. Kate. Come back, Kate. I press my hands onto my ears, trying to get the voice out of my head. Ugh. Panicking now, I grab the doorknob and pull open the door, only to be greeted by a blinding white light. Uh-oh. Kate, are you all right? I wake up to the sound of voices. 3 silhouettes are peering down into me, surprising me. Ah! The 3 silhouettes all move away in shock, and I realize that they belong to the 3 brothers. Guys, can you please not do that again? You shocked the hell out of me. We could really say the same thing about you, you know. He's right. He gets really nervous whenever you faint. What? What happened, Kate? Did you just say that I fainted? Yes. We found you right outside your room, lying on the floor. But... Ah, yes. What is it? What's the last thing you remember before you fainted? I remember now. There was a light. A blinding light. That's the last thing I remember. The 3 brothers look at each other in confusion. A blinding light? How can that be? It's been raining all morning. Raining? Is that why there was a tornado outside? 3 heads look at me at the same time. Tornado? You saw a tornado outside? No, I heard it. I just presumed it was a tornado because... Ah, that's right. The draft. I thought the draft coming from outside was because of a mild tornado or something. Kate, there's no window that opens here in Vern's room. How can it be a draft? What? That can't be. I felt it myself. It was right after I heard the tornado that I stop, feeling shivers run up my spine as everything comes back to my mind. Before you what? Before I heard it. The atmosphere in the room suddenly grows thick, threatening to strangle the 4 of us in its vice-like grip. What did you hear, Kate? A voice. I heard a voice. What did it say? It was calling me, asking me to come back. And the thing is, now that I think about it, it sounded so familiar. Vern steps away from me, and I see all the blood drain from his face. Vern? What's wrong? Vern? What's happening? He shakes his head before running out the door, to my surprise. What? Did I say something wrong? The 2 other brothers are still looking quite alarmed. After a few seconds, Victor snaps out of his trance. No. You know Vern. I told you, he can be quite a scaredy cat sometimes. He forces a smile to his face. And I guess right now is one of those times. I guess so. I don't think so. Anyway, you better get back to sleep now. Yeah, he's right. I just nod, smiling gently at the 2. Yeah, thanks, you guys. I lay back down on the bed, feeling suddenly exhausted. A sudden thought comes into my mind. Wait, how did... I hear the 2 brothers open the door, and I hurriedly sit up to call their attention. Wait! The 2 just blink at me, a question in their eyes. How did you guys know that I had fainted outside of the room? I mean, isn't it already late? Vaughn and Victor both look at each other and shrug. Actually, it was Vern who found you. Now, don't ask us what he's doing, walking around outside in the middle of the night. Wait, outside? A great thing he was walking, else we wouldn't have found Kate. Well, I guess you're right. Good night, then. Good night. Yeah, alright, good night. Like, it's not weird at all. Vaughn just grunts before they leave, closing the door behind them. Normally, I'd get mad if a person ignored me like that, but I know better. Just like on my first night here, I lie awake on my bed, thinking about the day's events. I still get shivers thinking about the voice I heard earlier, so I try to divert my thoughts from that. Still, I wonder if I'm just hallucinating. Cabin fever, perhaps? I stretch my legs out, trying my hardest to flex my bad leg. It still hasn't fully recovered, but it sure has gotten better. I can't wait for it to make its full recovery so that I can start hiking back down the mountain again. I don't think we're going to be hiking anywhere anytime soon. I really do miss my friends and family. I wonder if they know I'm up here. No. No, baby. No, they don't. They must be so worried. Oh well, I'm sure I'll be able to go down one of these days. One of these days. It's been a few days since the voice incident, and everything's starting to become normal routine again. My leg is actually recovered enough for me to be able to already walk around the house with little to no problem at all. However, Victor says that hiking is a very high-impact activity, and he sure wouldn't want to risk my health. Of course, I have complete trust in him. Not only is he my friend, but he was also a medical student after all. I'm sure he knows what's best for me. Sounds like a little bit of Stockholm Syndrome. Still, I do hope I can recover soon enough. I promised him that I would do my best to help around the house before I leave for the village. It's only proper that I repay them in some way for their kindness, after all. Victor insists that it's not necessary, but I, too, insist that it is. At least it'll give me something to do while I'm stuck up here in the mountains. Yeah. I catch a glimpse of a certain brown-haired guy cleaning around with a broom. Hey, Victor. He looks at me, seemingly a bit surprised at my sudden appearance. Ah, hey there, Kate. What are you doing? I'm just cleaning around. One needs to clean around the house, you know. I nod, agreeing with him. Let me help you then. Before he could respond, I take hold of one of the brooms nearby. He just looks at me, half in confusion, half in embarrassment. No, it's fine. You don't need to help around, you know. It's all right. I just want to help. Well, if you insist. Thanks a lot, though. I smile at him, glad to be able to help out. I start sweeping the floor while Victor polishes some of the expensive-looking displays. Where are the other boys, though? Victor shrugs without stopping his work. Somewhere around the house, I guess. Aren't they going to help you clean? No, they never do. And you let them get away with it? My aunt has 2 kids. If either one of them refuses to clean around the house, they get punished pretty badly. That sounds scary. And I guess it won't work in this family. I've always been the one who cleans after these 2. Whoa, why? Well, I'm the oldest brother. I guess I always felt like it's my duty to care for them and make sure they are doing well. You know what I mean? I look down at the broom in my hands, reflecting a bit on what he just said. I guess not. I don't have any siblings, so... He blinks a few times. Oh, right. Sorry. I forgot. It's fine. It's not like it's something that other people should know. Right. He closes his eyes for a few moments. He can clean the furniture even with his eyes closed? That's just amazing. What are the perks of being an only child? I raise one eyebrow at his question. Why? Have you ever thought about being an only child? No. I'll never give up my brothers for the world. I'm just curious, that's all. Wow, his dedication to his brothers is simply enviable. I clear my throat, trying to figure out what to say. Well, I can say that there are lots, but generally it really depends on what kinds of things you consider as perks. What do you mean? For one thing, being an only child is a really lonely thing. Oh. So, if you're a social person, you wouldn't enjoy it very much. How lonely can it get? Again, it depends. Me, I'm kind of used to it already. After all, it's the only thing I've known my whole life. At least I have time for moments of silence. A lot, actually. I see. There is one thing that is a huge perk, though. Victor turns to me with a curious look. And what is that? I never have to clean up after somebody... Oh, wait. I never have to clean after somebody like this. He suddenly bursts into laughter, surprising even myself. Whoa, I know I'm pretty funny, but I'm not that funny. He just keeps on laughing like a 7-year-old kid. You were pretty spot on. Thank you. Oh well, you don't have to help around the next time I clean, but maybe you can keep me company again. Huh? I look around and see that everything is spick and span already. Hey, what just happened? We're done cleaning. I could have sworn we weren't finished yet. Whoa, I didn't even notice it. Yeah, me too. Thank you again, Kate. You're welcome. I guess it's true. Time flies when you're having fun. Speaking of time moves really strangely in this place. Curiously, there are no calendars around, and I'm starting to get a bit disoriented. I walk around the house trying to find a working clock, a calendar, or just anything, actually. It's kind of making me pissed that this hallway is so dark even though it's supposed to be midday. At least I think it's midday. Gosh, this house is messing up my body clock, too. While passing by one of the rooms, I see someone with their back turned on me. Is that... Slowly, I enter the room. Victor is softly humming a gentle melody while he organizes some of the things inside a wardrobe. He's cleaning around the house again, and his brothers are still not helping him. If only he'd stop working so much. Might as well. I slowly move closer to him. When I'm already right behind him, I gently poke his back a few times. As I expected, he turns around, and I immediately scream like a banshee while raising my arms, surprising him. What? Why would you do that? Ah! He backs into the wardrobe, looking extremely shocked. I start laughing uncontrollably, holding onto my sides to keep them from hurting so much. Kate? He stares at me angrily, breathing heavily. Did I scare you, Victor? I forced myself to stop laughing, although I still couldn't help but giggle at my own little prank. I'm sorry. I just didn't think you were such a scaredy cat. I'm not a scaredy cat. I'm just surprised, that all. I'm sorry for yelling at you. He scratches the back of his head, looking remorseful. I just shake my head, suddenly feeling guilty as well. No, oh my, don't apologize. I'm the one who should be sorry for my little prank. I grin at him playfully. But don't worry, it's okay to be scared. He sighs. There's nothing to be scared of, though. I look around the room. Yes, there is. Are you aware that you're living in a mansion that's practically taken out of a horror movie? A horror movie? Yes, a really haunted one. With a mansion as huge as this, I would be wary of ghosts, or even monsters. Uh-oh. There are no monsters here, he says quietly. Huh? Why the sudden change in the mood? Without another word, he goes back to organizing the inside of the wardrobe. The sudden change in the atmosphere seems to cover the room like a thick blanket. Well, this is awkward. Maybe I should leave him alone for now. Quietly, I start walking towards the door. All of a sudden, I hear something drop behind me. As I turn to look, Victor suddenly pops up right in front of me. Ah! Boo! Ah! In surprise, I trip backwards, falling flat on the floor. Or not. To the last second, Victor suddenly lunges in front to catches me in his arms. For a few seconds, I could only stare at his blushing face as I felt the heat start to radiate from my own face. Victor looks really surprised as well, his arm still supporting my back. If anyone were to walk into the room right now, they would probably think that we were just straight out of a fairy tale scene. Victor clears his throat, gently pulling me up with him. Awkward silence. After a few more seconds, we suddenly start laughing together. An awkward moment avoided with a laughter. I wonder what Victor meant when he said there are no monsters here, though. Could there be ghosts? Nah. How ridiculous would that be, right? A few more days pass once more. We're just not going to talk about how he's appeared and disappeared, or... Okay. Is that a figure of speech, or... I sit up in my bed, hearing a low rumbling sound from somewhere. It takes me a few seconds to realize that the sound is coming from my stomach. Scratching my head, I stand up and slowly make my way outside my room into the kitchen. I see a familiar face already bustling around so early in the morning. I smell something good. Victor turns around with a big smile on his face. Really now? Yes. What are you cooking? Our breakfast for today. I move closer to him and look inside the pot. It smells really lovely, Victor. His smile is wider, beaming at me. Thank you. Have you ever been interested in cooking before? I nod, smiling. I love cooking. A bit, I suppose. He raises an eyebrow at me. I believe you owe me a story. I let out a hearty laugh. I'm nowhere near as good as you. He scrunches his eyebrows, still smiling at me. We'll never know unless we try. Huh? Make something for us. I'm sure it's gonna be awesome. Oh no, I can't. I don't actually cook. I bake. Bake? Yep. I love baking pastries, cakes, sweets. He grins at me widely. Vern loves sweets. Me too. See, somebody already loves it. Well, maybe he does love sweets, but that doesn't mean he'll necessarily like mine. Besides, what if I suck? So what? At least you tried, right? But I'd rather try and fail than not do anything at all. But if you fail, you'll still end up doing But if you fail, you still end up not doing anything. Not true. You made the effort. That's what's important. And you learn. You learn from it. Fine. One of these days I'll bake something for you guys. Is that a promise? Yes. I'll be looking forward to it then. You can count on it. I smile at him, and he smiles back as he turns to his cooking again. Don't you want to learn how to cook, though? I guess I do. I'm just hopeless, I guess. Don't you want to try? With a smile, he pushes the cutting board towards me. Wait, like, now? There's no better time than the present. Shakily, I take the knife from him. You can't cut with such shaky hands, Kate. I know, but I'm scared. He looks at me seriously and sighs. It's not scary at all. Let's see. He moves closer to me and positions himself right behind me. As if on cue, my heart starts beating quicker than usual. When you hold a knife, you should hold it with conviction, with purpose. Don't be afraid to cut something with it. That's what knives are for, after all. Okay, serial killer. Gulping, I hold the knife more firmly in my hand. To my surprise, Victor takes my hands in his hands and starts guiding them towards the food. With one hand, I move the cutting board closer and start cutting the meat. Victor is still holding my hand, making my heart beat even faster. Right now, it's no longer the knife in my hand that's making me nervous, but Victor's hands covering mine. That's good. You're doing a good job. He lets go of my hands, leaving me to do the cutting alone. I secretly breathe a sigh of relief as he moves away. Strangely, though, I also feel a little disappointed that he's no longer close to me. What? That thought was unaccounted for, Kate. Stop thinking such thoughts. Get your mind out of the gutter. Whoops. Victor moves right in front of me, looking at me as I continued cutting the meat. He then watches as I cut the other ingredients and mix them in a pot.
You want to take a nap?
Good
Take a nap right there.
night. You take a nap there. How was your stream, Amv? He then watches as I cut the other ingredients and mix them in a pot. You need a nap? Take a nap. Just add the right amount. I do as I'm told, putting in the right amount of spices. Good, good. You're getting a good hang of this, Kate. I smile, feeling proud of myself. Finally, Victor helps me put the pot over the stove. See, I told you, you can cook. Thank you. Breakfast time. For now, it's also known as the moment of truth. Victor said he wanted to serve the food, but I insisted that I wanted to be the one to serve it. I guess I can't bear to think that they would actually be eating something that I made. Nervously, I gave the brothers the food. I haven't saved in a hot minute. Vaughn looks at me with a curious and irritated look on his face. I must look really nervous right now. What's he irritated about? Why is he always mad at me? I take my seat after serving the food. Victor eats quietly, looking like he's enjoying it. Vaughn narrows his eyes when he tastes the food, making me worry slightly. Vern takes a few bites and suddenly stops eating. No way. They probably hate it. It's probably the worst thing they've ever tasted. My inner cook is already crying rivers of tears when Vern suddenly speaks up. Yeah? This is strange, but... I clenched my fist, feeling really nervous as I waited for Vern to continue speaking. What is it, Vern? Your cooking tastes a little bit better today, Victor. Wow. It's bothering me as well, Vern. The two brothers, Vern and Victor, chuckle softly. I share a sneak glance with Victor. Sighing in relief, I bring my spoon to my mouth, enjoying the first meal I had ever cooked. I again glance at the oldest brother in gratitude. It's all thanks to you, Victor. Another day in the life of a calendarless girl. I'm starting to lose count, really. Sorry, I'm trying to coordinate ordering some dinner. That's just only going to take like an hour and a half. And I'm not sure how long it's going to take. I don't know what's happening to me. Somehow, as I spend more and more days here, the idea of wanting to come back home is starting to get pushed further and farther from my mind. Oh. I sit up, hearing a beautiful voice singing somewhere nearby. Whose voice is that? Wrapping a nightrobe around me, I exit my room. I follow the beautiful voice, finally arriving at the kitchen. Victor sits on the kitchen table, cooking some food. I assume it's for our breakfast, but he's also singing, and he sings wonderfully. Victor? Surprised, he looks up at me suddenly, hitting his hand on the table. Kate Lee, why are you up so early? Why do they say my full name like that? Why is my character freaking out? Hello? I don't know why my little VTuber is freaking out like that. Smiling, I take a seat across from him. Your voice woke me up. A hint of red spreads across his face. Is that so? I'm sorry. I'll try to keep it down then so you can go back to sleep. I smile, shaking my head slowly. It's okay. I'm already up now. Plus, I really love your voice, Victor. I didn't even know you could sing. I don't really sing. Yes, you do. I heard you earlier. I was just making some noise. He chuckles nervously at his own joke. Giggling, I wave a finger at him. Lying is bad, Victor. Okay. I'm not really a singer or anything. And I'm not really a girl. Huh? I laugh heartily. I was just kidding. Like you. You have a really beautiful voice, you know. No, I don't. Come on. Please, Victor. What? Sing for me, please? What will I sing? Anything. I just want to hear your voice. He smiles warmly at me as his eyes sparkle in mirth. You're already hearing it now. Aw, come on. I just want to hear you sing again. With a smile still on his lips, Victor narrows his eyes at me. Let's make a deal then. You bake something for us, and I'll sing for you while you do it. I feel my face go hot. But I'm not that confident with my baking skills. And I'm not that confident with my singing skills. Got him. Wait. He smiles at me, showing his pearly whites. Please, Kate Lee? For me? Alright. I nod, letting my smile spread across my face slowly. Victor grins at me. Let's get started then. What? Right now? Yep. It's still pretty early, so I bet the kids won't be up until an hour or 3 from now. The kids? You make it sound like we're already parents. He just shrugs at me, still smiling. Come to think of it, that's not so bad after all. I'll help you bake. You really should teach me how to, you know? I smile at Victor, putting a finger to his lips. Only if you sing for me and teach me your best recipes. My pleasure. We immediately get back to work. Victor and I sing together as we create the mix for the cake. It's the most fun I've ever had while baking. Hey, I can get used to this. Good, because I think we're going to have to. Finally, after an hour and a half, we're ready to take our cake out of the oven. Victor and I put on our oven mitts and pull out the freshly baked cake. We spend 15 more minutes putting the icing on the chocolate cake. It tastes fantastic. His finger dips into a smudge of icing again and puts it in his mouth. I laugh at the childlike behavior. Hey, stop getting so much icing. You're gonna eat it all. He smiles, putting some in his mouth again. Nonsense. You should give it a try, you know. Your cake tastes awesome. I just stare at him with a stupid smile on my face and my cheeks blazing hot. Kate? Before he can protest, I immediately wrap my arms around him, locking him in a warm hug. Man, he's cold. He's really cold. What's the hug for? Thank you, Victor. For what? For everything. Slowly, I feel his arms wrap around me as well. Thank you too, Kate. Thanks for being here. After a while, we slowly stand back from each other, smiling shyly. Oh well. Come on, let's finish this up. One sec. You're right. We smile at each other again. My body still feels tingly from our contact, though. I wonder when I can hug him again. More time passes. One day, as I'm helping Victor cut some vegetables for our lunch, the knife suddenly cuts me on the finger. Ouch! I jump back a little bit, pressing on my finger to let the blood come out. Kaylee? The cut is pretty deep, so I close my eyes tightly, expecting the blood to gush out painfully. To my surprise, I feel no wetness on my finger. We are a ghost. Are we a ghost? My eyes widen in surprise when I realize that there's no red coming out of it. What? Hey, what's wrong? He looks at my finger and frowns worriedly. Well, that's a nasty cut. Come on, let's go to the sink to wash it up. Victor accompanies me to the sink as we pour water over the wound. Even though it looks really deep, no blood comes out, no matter how hard I pinch my finger. Victor, why is there no blood? He just stares at the wound, ignoring my question. Oh no. Victor, there's no blood. Isn't this a bad sign? Oh no, we are ghosts. My cut is deep. How can there be no blood? Panicking now, I run back to the kitchen to take a look at the knife that cut me. Okay, no blood. Hey, calm down, okay? We'll have it checked when the rain lets up. But when will the rains let up? Soon. Really soon. Haven't you noticed that it's gotten weaker every day that passes? I nod. He smiles at this, although I can see the sadness very evident in his eyes. Don't worry about your wound, okay? Ghost can't die again. For now, let me just wrap it up in this clean band so that it won't have any bacteria on it. It might get infected. I whimper in fear at the word. Victor smiles at me in assurance. No, don't worry. The bacteria won't be able to come close to it. As he wraps the band around my finger, I raise my eyebrows at him. Victor, are you hiding something from me? What? Victor, tell me the truth. Tell me why it's always raining. Why the sun never seems to shine brightly. Why there are no mirrors. Tell me. Tell me why you're here. He just sits in front of me with his eyes on the ground. I feel my frustration bursting out of me. What are you hiding from me? Kate, let me explain. All right. Run away. I don't know how to explain it to you. Victor holds his head with his hands as if blocking out the world. I don't know how. What? Tell me. I don't know. Darn it, Victor. I don't know. Kate, I just sigh, realizing that getting mad at him won't do me any good. Victor, please. I don't know what to say, Kate. No matter what that is, I'll listen to you, Victor. He slumps back down on the floor, looking terribly guilty. I feel my heart beating nervously like drums in my chest. I can't. To my surprise, he suddenly stands up and walks away from me. Hey, wait! Out of nowhere, Vaughn appears and leans against the wall. Vaughn? What? Can I talk to you? I guess. In private. Without waiting for my reply, he turns around and heads to the opposite direction. I follow him through the hallways of the mansion. To be honest, I don't really understand what happened back there. I I wrap my hand around my wounded finger, still not feeling anything. There is no pain, no blood, nothing. Vaughn glances at me behind him, looking very serious. Hey, Vaughn. What did you want to talk about? He stares at me for a while before opening his mouth to speak. My brother. Vern? Vaughn shakes his head slowly, giving me a look. I look away, realizing where this is going. What about him? I don't know why I'm telling you this, but... He sighs, looking exasperatedly at me. He's not good with his feelings, that guy. Okay. You should talk to him. Somehow, his words hit me, I guess, in a wrong way, and I feel myself getting irritated. In case you didn't see it, he walked out on me. I cross my arms, staring harshly at Vaughn. Can't you explain it to me? What? This house. You three. This place. I don't know what's happening anymore, Vaughn. I want explanations. Vaughn looks alarmed. I can't give you that. What? Only Victor can explain this to you. Why can't you do it? He shrugs, giving me a nonchalant look. I can't. Vaughn sighs, looking at me directly this time. His hand fumbles with his hair, gently playing with the strands. All I ask is for you to go easy on him, I guess. Why are you saying this? He looks away from me, sighing again. He's my brother. I know him. He may seem talkative and open, but he's not. He keeps things in here. The blonde-haired man points to his chest as he gives me an intense gaze. My breath hitches in my throat. I suggest you go ahead and talk to him. Just try to be gentle. Again, his words have struck a chord in my nerves. I glare at him, putting my hands on my hips. I am gentle. Right now you aren't. He points this out nonchalantly. I groan, turning away. Just keep your cool. I let out the breath I didn't know I was holding. Nodding slowly, I do my best to smile at Vaughn. Fine. I'll talk to him. Gently. I nod again. Gently. Good. So, can I go now? I don't even know why you brought me here if that's all you were going to say. Vaughn gives me a sheepish smile. Well, I didn't want Vern or Victor to hear what I was going to say. Fair enough. Smiling, I turn around to leave, going the opposite way. I walk back to the room where I just came from, hoping to find Victor there. Instead, I find him downstairs in the main room. Victor? The brown-haired guy stands behind one of the pillars, looking down on the floor. Victor? Victor, I'm sorry. Sorry for getting angry with you. I'm sorry if I couldn't explain it to you, but I don't understand it either. What do you mean? Kate, do you trust me? Not really. Well, sure. We'll go with yes. I close my eyes as I take a deep breath. Finally, I open them and nod slowly at him. I do? He lets out a sigh as well, looking both relieved and nervous at the same time. That's a promise, right? Yes. You won't think I'm crazy? Victor, what is this? Kate Lee, you said... Wait, Kate Lee, you see, this place is not what it seems to be, and we're not who we seem to be. Or rather, what we seem to be. What? I don't get it. I don't know how to tell you, but what? Victor, just tell me. You trust me, right? I already said yes. I do. Then come with me to the village tomorrow. I stare at him blankly. I'll take you to the village tomorrow. That should explain everything. I look at him in surprise. Is it for real this time? He nods grimly at me. Yes. This time it's for real. Okay. I toss and turn in my bed, unable to fall asleep. Somehow, deep inside me, I have a feeling that I've just uncovered something I do not want to know about. Victor wakes me up early the next morning. He looks really serious, and I worry a bit for him. Despite my concern, though, I'm still feeling a little bit hurt over the fact that they are hiding so many things from me. It's true that they did nurse me back to health, but that doesn't mean they have the right to keep me here. The forest looks gloomy and terrible, just like how it was that fateful night. I remember slipping here and then nothing. Yeah, I think we fucking died when that happened or something. Based on my estimations, it's been around a month, and it looks like nothing has changed. I feel anger surge up from within me as I think again of the three brothers lying to my face. I turn to Victor, who has been silent the whole way. You told me it was hard to go to the village. Were you really lying to me all along? How could you lie to me? I trusted you, Victor. You don't understand. He says in a quiet voice, making me even more irritated. Excuse me? Just keep quiet and keep walking. Faster. He is looking a bit distracted now, like he's avoiding something. To be honest, the setting, along Victor's attitude, is making me both scared and angry. Victor, please don't do this to me. Please tell me something. All of a sudden, I hear a strange sound from the forest. What was that? Shh! Victor looks visibly distraught now, and he's actually pushing me to go faster. What was that? Something dips in and out of the trees. Hurry, Kate. Just hurry. I see a familiar looking thing peeking out of the trees. It's the... Just run! Run! Ah. His voice is filled with urgency now, making me follow without any further questions. I keep on running, my breathing getting more and more erratic. I want to give up, but my fear and anger is making me push myself harder. I can hear Victor right behind me, and only his presence is comforting me. After a few hours of running and brisk walking, we finally see a little village coming up ahead, near the foot of the mountain. The sun hasn't fully come up yet, giving the whole place an eerie purplish glow. Come to think of it, I don't think we passed by this village when my friends and I were hiking up, so this is probably the other side of where I came from. A mysterious village? A creepy mountain? A mysterious village at the foot of a creepy mountain? Check, check, check. Oh boy. I'm all out of breath, and I actually crumble to the ground the moment we get close to the village. Even though I'm panting and sweating bullets, I still find it surprising how the weather is much nicer down here than up there. To think that I haven't seen the sun in around a month. It sure is wonderful to feel the sun shining on your arms again, no matter how minimal its rays may be at the moment. I look at Victor, who is also kneeling on the ground holding his sides. He's sweating profusely too, and I feel almost bad for him, if only I wasn't in the same situation. Hi, Will. Thank you, friend. Hope you're doing well. Victor, what was that? What were those things? Why did we run away? My head is so filled with questions that nobody is answering. I feel really frustrated by the turn of events. Vaughn just looks at me, shaking his head. He stands up shakily and points to the village. We start walking slowly. I notice that as we approach the village, Victor is looking more and more nervous. Hey, what's wrong? He shakes his head again. It's nothing. I'm sorry. He stops just at the opening of the village. I don't want to come any closer. His answer simply boggles my mind. What? Why? I can't. I don't want to. What? I have to look for a phone. I thought you were going to help me. I'm sorry. I want to help you, but more than anything, I just feel hurt and betrayed at Victor's answer. Fine then. You've helped me enough, so thank you. I'll look for a phone myself. With a heavy heart, I force myself to turn away from Victor, even though all I'd like to do at this point is to hug him tightly. I start asking the few people around if they had any phone that I could use, but nobody is paying attention to me. Excuse me? Excuse me? Hello? Oh my, we are so totally a ghost. Please? This is like the Sixth Sense. Hello, please? To my surprise, a young girl dashes out from one of the houses. I try to move away, but everything happens so quickly and she ends up running straight into me. What's happening? Yep. You're going right through me, aren't you? Literally into me and through me? Yeah. My hand suddenly feels clammy and my stomach wants to churn out all of its contents onto the road. Just then, Bruce Willie came out from behind the fence. What just happened? I feel dead people. I feel like throwing up. With panic building within me, I tried to grab onto anyone on the sidewalk. To my surprise, my hand just goes through them. Yeah. I forced myself not to vomit and immediately run back to Victor. He still hasn't moved from his old position, but he is refusing to meet my gaze. I shake him, trying to get him to talk to me. Victor, tell me, what's happening? Slowly, he turns to me with sad eyes. Ghosts. I think that's what we are. What? What the hell are you talking about? How the hell can we be ghosts? I'm so sorry. I couldn't tell you. When people die, their spirits don't always go to heaven or hell immediately. Sometimes they get to stay here with us for a little while, and sometimes some people see them without meaning to. We're not ghosts, but sometimes a person's spirit may detach itself from the body without losing its breath. That's what we are, Kately. Oh, I am dead people. Yep, I guess so. We all got into accidents. You got caught up in that landslide, right? Me and my brothers, we had been driving up here to the mountains. We fell off the cliff. At least, that's what I think. That's the only thing I can remember before losing consciousness and waking up in the middle of the forest. We were originally going to our rest house, you see, so we decided to just look for it and stay there for a while. Everything we want, it's there. I can cook because the cupboards are always filled with food. Don't ask me how it happened. It's just like that. All I know is that we're lost. We're lost, and we're just spirits. I can't help but slap him on his face. What? What? Slap! What? Why did we slap him? Slap! Why?
Is it me? Am I the drama? I think I'm the drama. Maybe I am.
Wow. Slap. He looks surprised, nevertheless. He doesn't speak. Why did you lie to me? Why? Holding one palm up to his cheek, he grimaces. Kate, I just didn't want you to lose hope. Lose hope? What could I still hope for? Victor, we are ghosts. These people, they don't see us. They don't even notice us. Tell me, why did you hide something like that from me? Why do you, it's pretty obvious. We didn't know if you were really alive or dead. What? He sighs, pinching the bridge of his nose with his fingers. Vaughn was worried about letting you in our home because he thought you were just another lost soul. Like us. We didn't want you to get stuck in there with us. Stuck because we were too scared to face whatever it is out there. Then everything was just... Yes. But after hearing what happened to you, we realized that you could still be alive. Perhaps in a comatose state? I start crying, the reality of the situation suddenly hitting me. I know. All of these like a bad drama on TV. I don't understand everything either, but there's no other explanation for everything. But if you thought I was alive, why did you let me in your home? Because the spirits were waiting out there. Waiting for your weak point. Waiting for you to give up. Spirits? Like that flame from earlier? He nods slowly. Those spirits would never take you to the other side. They'll gobble your soul up for themselves to free them and make you the new spirit. That's what Vaughn and I concluded after seeing them do that to one other person just a few weeks before you got to us. What? I'm sorry for not telling you earlier. And you? Your brothers? How long have you been in there? He shrugs. We've been in that mansion for who knows how long. It could be weeks, months, or years. The sudden realization hits me like a brick. Does that mean you're already dead? He shifts his gaze downward. Victor, please. Tell me. To my horror, he slowly nods, his eyes showing no emotion at all. My hand flies to my mouth as I gasp. I couldn't help but let my warm, wet tears fall freely down my cheeks. Well, wow. We begin our trek back up to the mountain. I feel numb. Strangely, I feel like everything was just a long, sad dream, and if I sleep, I'm going to wake up back at home. But I know that's not the case. Upon arriving at the mansion, Victor tells the brothers everything. I find out that they really don't know much about what's happening, but that they're starting to find out more and more each day. Apparently, I'm not the first one to visit them here either. The reality is starting to sink in, though. I guess there's nothing I could do but to accept that I really am gone from the world. I am sitting silently on the bed when somebody suddenly knocks on the door. It's open. Victor comes inside with a blank expression on his face. Oh, hey Victor. I smile softly at me. Wait. He smiles softly at me, I'm guessing. Kind of a few typos in here. He smiles softly at me, moving a bit to give him some space on the bed. Or I smile softly at him, maybe. He sits right beside me, looking like he's in deep thought. What is it, Victor? He closes his eyes, looking quite pained. I'm just worried about you. Frowning, I move a little bit closer to him. Why? Why? We just found out we're dead. Why? Please, don't be. I was really terrible to you earlier today. It's all my fault. No. I thought about it more, and... Victor? Do you remember the tornadoes, Kate? He looks into the distance. What about the tornadoes? I was thinking, maybe they contain the voices of our loved ones. I used to think that I could hear the voices of my friends from those tornadoes, but I thought I was just going crazy. You mean those voices I heard? I think so. Those are the voices of your loved ones talking to you. I cry even harder, remembering my own friends and family. The thing is, Kate, I no longer hear mine. Victor smiles at me, but like before, I sense no emotion in them at all. Victor, I'm really sorry, Kate. Like I said, it was all my fault. It was me who wanted to bring you here, even though I wasn't even sure if you're... He trails off, looking uncomfortable. I just nod, indicating that I understand. There is one thing that I don't understand, though. That night, why did you still let me in, then? I mean, I could have been a scary spirit in disguise or something. Victor sighs. You looked terrible, you know? You could barely even stand. Oh, whatever. God. Why did you agree to take me into the village, though? That blue flame we saw back there could have gotten you too, you know? I thought it was worth the risk. He smiles at me sadly, cupping my face in his hand. What do you mean? I couldn't tell you myself, but I thought maybe I could show you. And there's also one thing. You're alive, Kate Lee. What? Your body may be in a comatose state, but your soul is alive. Huh? Those tornadoes could be your way out. How? I don't know. But those tornadoes, they were strong for you, weren't they? Yes, to me. Just stay alive. I will find you. I guess I'm confused. Are we dead or not? Hi, Suze. Yes, to me. I see a flashback of the tornadoes in my mind's eye. I'm trying to stay alive. I don't know if I'm alive. I'm gonna try. I'll try. They were almost strong enough to take down a whole house. Victor smiles sadly at me. Well, to me, they were nothing more than a strong gust of wind. What? He sighs again, but still with a sheepish smile. I told you, I still don't understand everything about this yet. I don't know if there are really any set rules in this world, but what I do know is that it's much better to take a risk and discover something wonderful. He smiles at me again. You can't be talking about all the stupid things we did, can you? I guess I am. You're a risk worth taking. At this, he takes my hand and I feel my heart beating faster. My heart beating faster. Only now does it hit me that my heart beats faster whenever I'm around Victor. My heart is still beating. A risk worth taking. The next morning, I hear someone calling outside my window. Voices, accompanied by a strong wind. I dress up, go downstairs, and open the door. More voices. I feel almost euphoric, despite not being able to see anything. My whole world is just made up of one insanely bright light. I couldn't see anything, but I could hear voices. Voices that are murmuring something. I strain to hear what they are saying. Win, wake up, please. Voices. Familiar voices. I can't put my finger on it, but I know that I know whose voices they belong to. She moved. I saw it. I saw her move. I saw her move too. Hurry, call the doctors. My friends. Now I know why everything was so familiar. Oh. I wake up in a hospital room, hearing the murmuring of my friends and the faint dripping of the IV fluid, sending nutrients through my veins. They immediately call my parents, who cried upon seeing me awake. Almost a month ago, my friends and I had gone hiking in the mountains. We got caught in a minor landslide. While my friends got out with minimal wounds and bruises, I had been buried with the fallen earth. They managed to find me 12 hours later, barely breathing and in a critical state. They said it was lucky that a big, oddly shaped stone had fallen right beside my head, missing my skull completely and forming a protective barrier around me, allowing me to breathe. Wait, what? Oh, so like the stone like made it so that I didn't get buried and like my face buried? However, I wouldn't wake up even after they stitched me up and everything. Apparently, I had been in a comatose state. However, I don't feel like it at all. To be honest, I feel like I just spent a month in a vacation somewhere, but it feels like a half-remembered dream. So, how are you feeling now, Kate? I feel great. That's good. You're making an amazingly fast recovery. Just keep it up with the optimistic attitude, all right? Yes, sir. There is one thing I would like to ask, though. Yes? What is it? While I was in a coma, I think I had a really long dream. Oh? I don't remember it that much, but it felt very real. Like it really did happen. The doctor nods understandingly. Kate, our brain is a really amazing thing. Sometimes when we experience something traumatic, our brain releases chemicals to protect us from the painful memories. Your dream was most probably something like that, your own brain's defense mechanism against itself. I see. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, doctor. You're welcome. Remember, you're always free to ask questions. My dreams are simply my brain's way of defending itself from itself. That does make a lot of sense. But how come I don't feel so happy with that knowledge? One day, as my friends and I talk in my room, 2 nurses come in my room to check my stats. They move away for a bit and I overhear their conversation. Did you hear about the Devereaux brothers? Ah, those 3 brothers who were brought here a few months ago after a car accident? What about them? They're already awake. Oh, okay. Wow, that's great news. I know. When they first brought them here, I really thought they were goners. Why was there an accident again? I keep forgetting that part. Oh, apparently the second son had been driving while drunk. No. They were on their way to their huge rest house up in the mountains and they just fell. Oh my goodness. Thank goodness they're awake now. The conversation leaves me speechless, and I couldn't help but sit up in surprise. A half-remembered dream. All the memories suddenly start rushing back to me. The days I spent in that mansion, the meals we ate together, the trek. Suddenly, I remembered everything. Victor. One of my friends turned to me in surprise. What was that? Victor. Who's Victor? Malin shrugs. I don't know any Victor. I just laugh, shaking my head. Victor. It's Victor. He's awake. They're awake. Huh? Bye, Belly. Hope you're having a good stream, Fran. Nurse. Nurse! The nurses are on their way out when I start calling them, so they look at me in surprise. What is it, Miss Lee? I want to see Victor. The 2 nurses look at each other. Victor? Who's Victor? Suddenly, the first nurse's eyes widen. Miss Lee, how did you know the name of the oldest Devereaux brother? I just smile at her, while my friends both look at me in bewilderment. Can I see him, please? The nurse looks at me curiously, but smiles. He's still resting, but once he's recovered, I'll see what I can do. Thank you. The two nurses leave the room, and I look back at my friends. You've got some explaining to do. Yeah. A few days later, my nap is disturbed by somebody knocking on the door. Come in. I turn over in bed, a little bit distracted. I'm still pretty sleepy. To my utmost surprise, I see a familiar brown-haired boy entering my room. Hey there. Oh, hey. What's up, buddy? As if on cue, my heart starts beating wildly. My mind is unable to process if what I've been seeing is real or not. Victor shrugs, and I couldn't help but cry out in happiness. Victor, what are you doing here? You know, I really have to ask you that myself. He smiles and moves right beside my bed as I sit up and hug him at the waist, pulling him closer to me. Victor puts his arms around me, pulling me even closer. It's really you. I thought I'd never see you again. He looks down at me, looking really amused. What did I say? I told you we'd meet again someday. Did he? He laughs, throwing his head back like the Victor I've always known. And I guess that someday has finally come. I smile at him and nuzzle my nose against his waist. Dream or no dream, I'm never going to let him go. Victor smiles again, before bending down to reach me. I close my eyes. And he kisses me on the lips. I smile. Dream or no dream, I know what's real. This is reality. This is my reality. Aww. Oh no, we can get the bad end? Oh dear. That was cute. I love that font. Aww. I guess we would get the bad end if we didn't trust him. Thank you so much for playing. Yeah, that's free on Steam if you want to play it for yourself. That was really cute. I love this font. All right. Well, we'll watch some stuff while I think my dinner should be here pretty soon. So while I wait for my dinner and while I eat dinner, we'll watch, I don't know, we could watch some paranormal stuff. And then we'll play Five Nights at Freddy's. May you all have a spooky and fun-filled Halloween. Yeah!